much more. Tonight I'm drawing my own line. This is where I change my life. One decision, one new road. I'm done caring someone else's load. I wanna break free. I'm chasing everything that's calling me. No more living life on borrowed dreams. I'm building something that belongs to me. I wanna break free from every chain that's holding back my destiny. Hands up high, this is my time. I was born to rise. I wanna break free. Hope was stronger. I've been waiting far too long. Every step is one step higher, turning pressure into fire. I'm not looking back again. This is where my future begins. No excuses, no retreat. I can feel the victory. One decision, one brave move. Future belongs to those who choose. I wanna break free. I'm chasing everything that's calling me. No more living life on borrowed dreams. I'm building something that belongs to me. I wanna break free from every chain that's holding back my destiny. Hands up high, this is my time. I was born to rise. I wanna break free. Good evening, family. Welcome, genuinely welcome to day one, our 5-day generational wealth framework. So excited to have you here in this program. And if you apply everything that I teach you tonight, you can really do something incredible with it. So if you're here tonight, you didn't stumble into this by accident. Something in your life has been whispering. Maybe it's even been shouting. There has to be more than what you've been handed, right? Don't we all feel that way? More than just the salary, more than just the bonus, more that's waiting for the system to notice you. And tonight is the opportunity for you to learn all about this. You're in the right place, and I am so glad that you've shown up. Before we go any further, I really want to see you. I want to know where you're at. I want to know who's in the room with me. So quickly, in the comments, let me know, what town are you in at the moment? Let's see how much of South Africa we've got covered today. So right now, let's see. Some of my VIPs on the inside here, I can see that we've got some people responding from Cape Town, some from Bloem, some from Joburg. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Still some people joining the session, but I'm going to continue because time is of the essence tonight. So welcome, welcome. So as we get started, before I tell you my name, I want to tell you a name. His name is Malachi, and he is my grandson. And if I could get you invite you to do just one thing, just hit the like button, share, follow. Let's get this presentation out to as many people as possible on YouTube. So let's put a heart in the chat for Malachi. Just a heart. Just to let him know that one day when he's old enough to understand what happened this week, that there were hundreds of people in a room who heard his name and started building something just for him. I think about Malachi a lot. I think about the world he's walking into. I think about the world he's going to inherit. I think about what kind of South Africa he's in. And I think about the family he's going to come from. And one night, I won't tell you the date, but I will tell you it was early. And I was sitting alone in my kitchen, and the house was very, very quiet. And I had one of those moments, you know what I'm talking about, where you just sit back and you think, you look at the money that you're earning, and you just know it's not enough. And I said out loud to nobody in the kitchen, to God, maybe, I don't know. I said, not him, not my grandson. He is not going to inherit a story that ends at another month end. He's not going to inherit a story where the money runs out and the worry takes over. He's not going to inherit a story where the family breaks under the weight. And he is going to inherit something different. That was a decision that I made that night that I thought about little Melly. Now, let me tell you about who I am, because I haven't done that yet. My name is Shani van Tonda. I'm a grandmother. I'm a wife, business leader, and for the last several years, I've been on a mission. A mission to break the cycle of poverty in my family, the cycle that my family lived for generations, so that Malachi and every family like ours can have something real. I didn't grow up with money. Let me be clear about that. I grew up watching brilliant, hardworking people, my family, my community, do everything right. They went to work, they gave their blood, their sweat, their tears to a job. They waited for the bonus, they waited for the promotion, they waited for the system to say, you've earned it. And that system kept them exactly where they were. Month after month, year after year, generation after generation. Sound familiar? I watched the pattern. I lived inside it, and I decided in that kitchen on that day that I was going to be the one who stopped it. Not just for me, not just for Malachi, but also for you and for your family and for whoever comes after you. And I didn't do it alone. So the man who builds this business with me, my husband, my partner, the one who has sat at the kitchen table with me on hard nights and the good ones, his name is Nick. So drop a heart in the chat for Nick, because without Nick, this whole program wouldn't have existed either. Nick and I didn't have a roadmap. We had a promise. And the promise was we will figure it out so that our grandson never has to start where we started. And I get super emotional about this, and you should too. Because when you do something that's bigger than yourself, there needs to be a lot of emotion with it. And I'll be honest with you, it wasn't fast. It wasn't pretty. We made a lot of mistakes. We got it wrong more than once. There were nights that we nearly gave up. There were months we wondered if we were crazy. And there were months we knew we were. But we discovered something on the other side of that struggle, and it's a framework, a real practical framework for building wealth that doesn't depend on a salary, doesn't depend on a boss, it doesn't depend on the government, yay, and it doesn't depend on permission from anybody else. It's a framework that only takes you and a decision from you that you want to do something different with your life. So this week, this workshop, this framework exists because of one little boy named Malachi and because of one man named Nick who said yes. So you are day one. And by the end of tonight, something is going to shift in you that we will not be able to unshift. So let's get into it. I'm going to take you through a little bit of my story, and we're going to touch on some of the lies that you've been sold up until now. So 24 years plus or minus, I was in business development. I had my own business. I worked really, really hard. I worked for corporates. I made a lot of money, and I got into a lot of debt. Because when you own your own business, you know, you're living hand to mouth. And every time you pick up another big contract, you've got to get into debt to do the work so that you can get everything done, so that you can invoice, so that corporates can take 90 days to pay you. So we were not in a very good space. We worked really, really hard, really, really long hours, but we never had any money. and we were literally drowning in debt. I was fortunate. Two of our clients actually took us on full time, and we ended up closing the business. And we were still living month to month, hand to mouth. We were covering our expenses a little bit better, but we weren't able to get out of debt. I then went and I got headhunted, and I ended up in a corporate position in business development, selling learnerships and training programs. And I had one of the best months I'd ever had. I closed 70 million rands worth of business, only to get retrenched the next month. And lo and behold, it was round about the same time that COVID hit. And so sitting at home, no income, no business, nothing happening, was a really, really scary place to be. And I'm sure a lot of you can remember those times. And that was when I made the decision to take something very, very serious. And I had a call with a senior executive that I know very, very well. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later, but I'll come back to the story so that you know how I turned it all around. But for now, and so Nick was introduced to Brendan Benfield a while back, 2016, in fact. And for 4 years, Nick had worked with him, and I wasn't really interested. I didn't see the benefits in the business. I didn't see what could really happen. And that's why I say, thanks to Nick, this has happened tonight, because I wouldn't have even been in this channel if Nick hadn't persisted. And in 2016, Nick actually joined Brendan's team, and he worked with him. And I was very, very skeptical. I sat on the sidelines. I watched from afar. I didn't want to get involved. I thought it was one of those strange things. And for 4 years, Nick worked this business really, really hard, and he did well. Nick got the business up to a point where it was paying us between 3,000 and 5,000 Rand every single month in extra income, while we had other jobs that were paying us as well. It was a solid second income stream. When I got retrenched in 2020, I realized that suddenly I couldn't rely on myself to build a pension. I couldn't rely on a boss to pay me. I couldn't rely on the economy. I couldn't rely on government. I couldn't rely on anything, because nothing is fail-safe. Nothing comes in and just continues to pay you forever and ever and ever. And it's what made me turn around and go and look properly at the Dew Point income stream. I realized that I had to do something different. There's less years left of my life. I was 40 at the time when I got retrenched. And I realized that what I had built up in pension, we literally spent in 3 months after I got retrenched. And that was a big eye-opener and shock for me. And so I made the decision. I picked up the phone. I had a call with Brendan. I asked him to mentor me, and he started mentoring me. And I asked him, Brendan, show me how to turn this into 100K plus a month. And Brendan did that. He sat down with me, showed me the plan, and Dew Point has paid us every single month since. It has been the most reliable income stream in our lives. In fact, it's paid me for more years now than what a boss ever has. I've been with Dew Point longer than what I ever stayed in one position with one boss. And so that is commendable for me. And so to build a generational wealth asset, you have to link yourself to a business system that can pay you every single month. It's all well and good to learn marketing skills. It's all well and good to learn sales skills. But if you are marketing or selling something that isn't giving you monthly recurring income, then what you are building is transactional. And so I love to do marketing. I love to do sales, but I want to be involved with, I want to partner a company that the tail end, the bottom line is paying me in a monthly recurring fashion. And that is what I have found with the Dew Point opportunity. Now, as I said, we didn't always get it right. In the beginning, we made a lot of mistakes. We didn't have a framework that was set in stone or that was even a workable model. And so we had some good people join us in the business, and Nick and I lost them along the way. And it was part of my frustration when I was sitting in the kitchen that evening thinking about how I need to build something that can be left for Malachi to really put him in a different position to what I've had, that I realized that I wanted to really scale this asset from a dew point perspective. And so I put my head down, I put money into doing research, taking training programs, learning marketing skills, so that I could really build up the marketing framework and the sales framework that would support the dew point business properly and also be duplicatable so that my team could have it. And that's why I've really made this workshop accessible to everybody. Because I know if you build a wealth channel the right way, with the right system, the right people, and the right coaching, you can build a generational asset that pays you every month for the rest of your life. And it will transfer from generation to generation once you are gone. And I'm a living proof. I've been part of the team now for 10 years and been paid every single month. We've had people in the channel that have passed away, and we've seen their asset transfer to their loved ones. So this works, and because it works, I'm prepared to put everything in. How about you? So everything that I've built in this 5-day framework is really, it's designed to help you accomplish that as well. Alrighty, so let's go in and look at some of the lies that we've been told, because we've all been told these lies, We've all been told, like, hard work. Hard work is what makes the money come. Well, I don't know about you, but I watched plenty of people work really, really hard. I mean, 4 parents. Nick and I buried all 4 of our parents, and you've never met a bunch that worked harder. And some of them even had wealth engineer numbers, but they'd never actually built the assets. And guess what? When they passed away, there was nothing that they'd been able to save up and leave for their next of kin. The next lie we've been told: the salary is the safety net. Haven't we all been told that? Go to school, work hard, get good grades so that you can go and get a good job so that you can earn really, really well. And yes, it works for a rare few. But for the majority of people, the minute that there's a salary, there's just more debt, because the salary doesn't cover all of the bills every month. The salary doesn't give you the opportunity to save for a good retirement. The salary just doesn't cut it like it used to. 2 generations ago, they were able to work like that, have a salary, and retire. But today, life is just too expensive, and the salary doesn't cover it, not on its own. So even if you've got a salary, you can't rely on a single source of income. You have to do something extra if you want to get ahead. If you don't, you will be falling behind every single year. Line number 3, the bonus and the commission will set you free. Well, I don't know about you, but every bonus and commission check I've ever been offered was just put just out of reach. So it's there to get you excited, but they make it so difficult to accomplish that you just can't achieve it. And the months that you do earn the commission, something will happen, and then your boss changes, moves the goalposts, and then suddenly your basic, they just one to suit the other, but you always get the tail end. And then the system is designed to reward you fairly. I don't think so, guys. It just didn't feel fair to me. Today kids go to school and they're all given a participation trophy. But when you get to the workplace, there's no participation trophy. They build KPIs and you have to meet those KPIs, and they give you more KPIs than what you actually getting remunerated for. They burn you out. The system is not designed to reward you fairly. The boss gets his Ferrari, a brand new one, every year, and you working hard, trying to just make ends meet. So before we go any further, I'm going to give you an opportunity just to hear from some of the team who have achieved amazing things with the business.
step at a time. I said yes to this opportunity, and my yes has opened so many doors so far, and I know that it will continue to open so many more. Thank you so much, Jupiter, for being the vehicle for us to achieve our goals so much sooner than we ever thought was possible, or even better yet, for us to achieve those goals that we thought we could never achieve, simply because we were limited by our beliefs, by the constraints around us, due to the system that we were born into and the ways of life that we have gotten used to without opportunities like this. So thank you so much for being that one system, that one business opportunity that says, I believe in you, because through that we can make things possible for ourselves and our family. Hala, hala. My life has changed. I joined aiming to make extra of 2,000 rand a month, but today I earn way more than that. I know that every month Juba pays me, and with that money, I can afford to buy things that worth over 5,000 rand monthly. Because of what? Juba. And I'm still building the life that I want. Therefore, Juba, as a university student, life can be a battle, right? Between classes, assignments, and trying to figure out what comes next. It's a lot. But honestly, Juba has been a game changer for me, especially now that I'm still studying. It's not just about me, it's about me doing something real for my future. One of the biggest things is the financial peace of mind. It allows me to really focus on my studies without the constant stress of how I'm going to pay for my groceries if they run out because of the month, how I'm going to pay for some of my textbooks, and really just grab a cup of coffee with friends without feeling guilty. It's given me a way to support myself and education, which is huge. Beyond that, the skills that I'm picking up here are incredible. I'm learning practical stuff, how to communicate better, how to manage my time effectively, and how to think like an entrepreneur. These are things you could always learn in the lecture hall, but they're also important for life after graduation, and I'm getting a head start. If you haven't joined 2 points, it's clearly that you're missing the point. Walala wasala. In Cape Town, I took a decision this year to change my situation, to change my finances. I joined the point and through the point, I'm building my assets. I'm not paid on the 7th of the month. My life, now I can see my future is bright. Before I used to cry on April 15, on the 17th, 16th, even on the same day sometimes, my bank is on zero. Now I live, I know the simple definition. If the salary is finished, my salary is coming again from due point. If not due point, then what? Try due point and shape your life. This is physical my salary. All the way from another museum figure. There's an older person, a senior citizen. I don't think it was easy. We are really thankful for you point to give us the opportunity of expressing ourselves and giving us this platform for us to put something on for our families on the table. Definitely, I will see you next month. That's a promise. Salute. Hi, different family. My name is and ever since I joined to point has really showed me that life is really what you make it. I am financially independent and officially moved to rank 1. So if I can do it, you can also do it. If not to point, then what? Hi everyone, this is the Virgin from KZN Moswayman. Before to point, my life was in a dark place. I was thinking even to take my life and rest. Remember, in Abandona, in a female who can take care of my family. I decided to join the point. Today, guys, I'm receiving extra 20,000 each and every month. Why are you sitting in provides one to point is there to change your life with exponent time? just very hard to put my interesting time. I'm the first person who break the gas. I achieved a lot of things that can't even count. If you need a car, join 2 Point. If you want to build your home, join 2 Point. So then that's it. You're keen on it. 2 Point all the way. That's my smile, guys. Even if I walk with pride. Halala 2 Point. Halala. Halala.
So, wow, how inspiring are all of those amazing people that have achieved such great things in such a short period of time. So, now without too much more of a wait, we are going to move on towards teaching you what to say, who to say it to, and where to find the people that you need to say it to. So, now we're going to look at the marketing side of how we make the business work. So, tonight we're going to build your 10-second pitch. We're going to build it together right now, live here on camera. I want to teach you the most important sentence you will ever say in business. Because if you don't get it right in the first 10 seconds, you won't get it right at all. So most people, when they say to you, what do? They ramble. They apologize, and they can't get the words out. And that's the biggest mistake. When you've got your 10-second pitch right, and it's a sales term, your 10-second pitch, you should be able to pitch someone while you're literally in an elevator in between floors. If someone says to you, what do? You should be able to get it out in one breath confidently, and you are able to impress them in that manner. So tonight will be the last day that you don't have a pitch and you don't know what to spit out when people ask you what you do. You're going to build it right here. So tonight we're going to look at who you help, what problem you solve, and what results you deliver. That's it. It's 3 pieces, 10 seconds. You can say it anywhere, at a braai, an elevator, a queue, at the shop, anywhere. Take a screenshot of this screen if you'd like to. We've also posted a link with some of the homework for you to do. It's self-work that you do after this course. The self-work that you do in that worksheet, it's actually an online worksheet that I've developed for you. You can fill it in online, and when you've completed it, it'll email you a copy. It's only for your own view. Nobody else is going to look at it, so you can really be very, very honest, personal in the feedback that you give, because what you do in that worksheet is going to be something that you can use with AI to really help you build marketing from this point onwards. So I really want to encourage you, be as open and honest as possible in the feedback that you got. So the link is in the chat at the moment. I did post it into the WhatsApp group, and I will also email you all a copy of that after this session as well, for anybody that wants it. But you've got the link right there, so feel free to click on it, and you've got it. Keep it safe so that you can go back to it and work through it straight after the workshop. So for now, your 10-second pitch. Here is mine. I help South African families break the salary cycle and build generational wealth through a simple 5-day framework they can start this week. So the next generation, like my grandson Malachi, inherits something real. I promise you, when I say that at a braai, people want to know more. And that's the thing. You've got to have a pitch that really grabs attention, tells people exactly what you do, and something that you are confident enough to actually carry. You must be clear, you must be confident, you must be compelling. And now you know why I mean every word. Once you've created yours, share it on the WhatsApp group and comment that you are done in the chat. So take a few moments and write out a pitch for yourself and comment done in the chat as soon as you've done. And then we're going to move from this into the dream customer profile. So now I've taught you what to say. Now we're going to go and build out who would be your dream customer, because until you know what to say and who you've got to say it to, you won't be able to create any marketing. Okay. So I'm going to move on. Once you've completed your pitch, remember to say done in the chat. Okay, so this is not a marketing exercise, guys. This is the most important thing you can do in any business. Because if you don't know exactly who your customer is and who you're trying to help, you won't be able to help anybody. You will try to help so many people that you won't actually narrow it down to be able to help one person. And so it's vitally important that you look at one narrative of one dream customer. And I always say, especially when you're developing your first one, the best person to look at is yourself, because you know all the answers. You know your own pain points, you know your own dreams, you know your own fears. So I would really suggest that as you fill out your dream customer profile, and all of this, there's a host of questions in the link that help you actually build out this dream customer profile. And I'd really like you to build out this dream customer profile tonight, because you're going to sleep better once you've done it. You're going to actually have some clarity in your head once you've got your pitch and you've got your dream customer, and this sets the foundation for the rest of our worksheet. So, who is your dream customer? You are, but I want you to be specific. So when you're going to go through your dream customer profile, you need to give as much detail as possible. In fact, give them a name. Give them a name of, they are Fed Up Fiona. Give them a name that you can actually remember. Make it dramatic. They're not everybody. It's a person, a specific person. It can be Tandi. Tandi is 34. She is a mother of 2. She works as a nurse in Soweto. Be that specific. I want to know exactly who it is that you want to serve. So, if you can't think of someone, go back to yourself. So if I had to say, I'm Shani, I'm 50 years old, I'm a grandmother, I'm married, I'm living in the south of Johannesburg. What have I done for a living? I've been in sales and business development, perhaps a business owner. Okay, what do they desperately want? And now this is why it's easiest when you're working with yourself, because what do you desperately want? Not what you need. I don't need to know that you need a new pair of shoes or that your car's breaking down and you need a new car. I want to know what you want, because those two things feel different and they hit different. If I go, I need this, you're in beggar mode. When I tell you what I want, it's much more powerful. And I actually step towards that thing. Need. The thing runs away from you. When you actually want something, you can have it. What keeps them up at night? What are they dreaming about? What are your dreams, your ambitions, your aspirations? What are the things you wanted from, when you were little, as a teenager, in your 20s? What are the things that you've ardently wanted and you've constantly gone, oh, that's selfish, I'm not going to go for it now because I've got to look after something else, or I've got to take responsibility, or I've got to get the job, and you filled in and bent over to all the lies that you were told. What is that thing that you want? And then what is your biggest pain right now? You've heard me tell my story and you heard how much emotion came out of that. Emotion is what pulls people in. If you can't be real and you can't bring emotion to the table, then you're not going to be able to get any traction with your marketing or with your sales. So you've got to be able to tap into what is their exact pain. And as you work through the worksheets, you'll see it goes into a lot more detail with the question, gives you a lot more examples. Where do they hang out? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Where are they hanging out? Are you meeting them at church? Think about yourself. So I was always the most difficult prospect I still am when I peg myself because I spend a lot of time on social media to do marketing, but I don't spend any time on social media scrolling. And so I don't pick up advertising on social media. Um, if you want to catch me, you got to put advertising at probably a rugby game, or advertising where one of my kids are playing sports, or advertising where I'm hanging out with my family, because that's where you're going to catch me. You won't catch me in a shopping center because I will put my head down and I walk fast. You catch Nick. How do you catch Shani and bring Shani into a company like Dewpoint? You catch Nick. I came in behind him. So this is what you got to look at with your dream customer profile. Okay. How do they want to feel? How can you make them feel? And by the end of this exercise, and I want you to do it tonight, guys, seriously, not tomorrow. I know that it's late, but put an hour in after this workshop and get it done. Because I promise you, it's going to change the way that you move forward. And if you leave it till tomorrow, you're not going to do it. So get this all done tonight. Build your dream customer tonight. Work through that worksheet. I could have charged thousands of rands for this workshop, and I'm giving it to you all for free because I believe in you all. And it's duplicatable. I want you to be able to do what I've done. So I filled in that worksheet, and that's how I developed this workshop. And it's the same worksheet that I work through, and I want you to complete it tonight. So you know exactly who your customer is. When you know that, everything else becomes easier. Your marketing, your message, your offer, all of it. So type a tick when you're ready to move on to the next slide. Okay, if you have ticked your dream customer, or you've given them a name at least, give me a tick in the chat, and then let's move on. Okay, and then building your Dream 100 list. This is everything in business, because you know what? You can have your pitch, you can know exactly who you've got to talk to, but if you never actually speak to anybody, you're never going to get anywhere in business. And so, how do we build a Dream 100 list? So, once you know who your perfect customer is, you've now got your pitch. Now I want you to look at a couple of things to build your list. And there's only 5 places where the initial names of people that you will find. The first place is the obvious place on your phone list. You've definitely got probably the first 5 to 100 customers are actually already on your phone. And only once you build your story and the rest of the things that we're going to do over the rest of the week will you have something to actually say to them. But I can promise you that the majority of your initial customers are probably that close to home. If you want to go a little bit further, then you would go out to LinkedIn or Facebook, search for your dream customer. If your dream customer is a nurse from Soweto, go and look for the nurses from Soweto, and you will find them all over LinkedIn, all over Facebook. If you know what their pains are, what their hopes and dreams are, you can go into groups that they are in, and you will find them. You can look at the people who've liked, commented, shared posts about your dream customer's pain. That's really powerful. And there are specific ways to actually reach out. If you just go onto every group and you just randomly start speaking to everybody on the group, you're going to get banned from the group. There are hooks and cheat sheets that you can use to really get good at building lists off of Facebook. And so one of the people that I follow is Fraser Brooks. Fraser has got a whole series that he teaches for free on how to tap into Facebook groups. So go and look up Fraser Brooks, go and follow him, go and look at how he teaches people to work on Facebook. I can definitely give you so many insights on that, but I don't have time to do it in this particular workshop. And then write down 100 names. So get your 100 names together. And in the worksheet that we've posted the link for, there's a whole set of questions to take you through your Dream 100 list. And so straight after this workshop, you can sit down with that list, complete it. There's 5 sections, go through it, complete it with as much heart and truth as you possibly can. And what it will spit back at you at the end of that is an incredibly powerful foundation to build the rest of your business on for the rest of this week. And so the right people today can be your breakthrough for tomorrow. So I'm going to just take a quick break again and let you listen to a few more of the team members.
All right, guys, let me get on to our connection. This celebration crazy. Dew point, the first connection then gets issued starts at 100 connections in a single month. And this morning we have someone who has smashed that. So it is amazing to see numbers like this. Always blows my mind. The last few Super Saturdays, beautifully eloquent lady on our Super Saturday mashup that you would hear. We're going to hear from her more in the mashup at the end of Super Saturday this morning. But Becca's going to come up and receive her connection. So Becca, come join me. Come this way around. Good morning. How are you? Are you warm? You happy? So not only did she smash through 100, right? There's your 100. She didn't stop at 200. There's a 200 bit. She smashed through 300 connections. Blows my mind. When we started this business 10 years ago, Brendan told all the staff that we have to do connections. We must go out and find connections. So I think you've done about 305 more than Brendan's done. You did in 1 month. So well done. And it just blows my mind because these aren't just people she's spoken to. These are people that have said yes, want to join 2.300. That's 10 people a day. So absolutely unbelievable. So tell us what your journey's been like with 2. I'm going to leave the microphone to you. Tell us what this journey has been like. And I always ask the question after someone has done such hard work, has it been worth it?
Definitely.
Okay, take it away.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you all are well. Thank you so much, Rob and Brandon, for the opportunity for me to be here. So firstly, I'd like to honestly thank God because I feel like He brought Dew Point into my life at the most perfect time. And it'll that I joined you and then a few days later I found out that I'm getting retrenched. So that was definitely not a coincidence to me. So as a caring parent, my mother did encourage me to look for another job. But I told her, no, I'm not going to. I believed so strongly in the 2 point system that I told her, please just give me 3 months. Give me 3 months after my work give this business my all so that I can see where it can take me. After the 31st of May, let me push for 3 months so that I can make the decision as to what I'm doing career wise after that. And here I am now. So to answer the question as to how I connected over 300 wealth engineers in a single month, honestly, I stayed committed to the daily activities. I made sure that I became visible online each and every single day without fail. I opened my app every single day. I watched the training videos undertook, and every single thing that I learned from the videos, I applied, right? And that's something that I'm still doing till today because there are so many videos in those apps, and every single thing, any question that you might have about your point, the answer is in the app. So that is why I am continuing even today to watch the video and learn. Was it easy to do what I'm doing or what I did? Definitely not. I was going through a lot personally, The retrenchment took a toll on me mentally, physically. I was just not okay. And at the same time, Point also came with its own challenges. There were WhatsApp bans that I was experiencing because of the number of people that were sending me messages. My videos on TikTok were getting taken down. My prospects, some of them were very rude to me, when I was trying to connect them to the business. People come to me and I connect them and they say they're going to pay, but then when they have to pay, they don't. So it was a very crazy journey and it became so overwhelming for me to a point where the motivation was just not there. But when it wasn't there, my why kept me going. So I was raised by a woman who taught me that if you believe in something, it doesn't matter if other people believe in it or not. You just keep going, keep pushing, take action, and the results will speak for themselves. And I honestly feel like they are speaking for me right now. I would like to thank my upline Amakwena and she just got right. I'd like to thank my upline Amakwena who was also my support during the entire situation during my retrenchment process. I used to call her crying saying, girl, I can't do this. This is a lot for me. But she would also call me when I wasn't reaching out to ask if I'm okay because she would see that I'm quiet. And she'd just be there for me. She was a present upliner. She made sure that she was there for me outside of my beautiful support system, which is my family and my partner, who are always just rooting for me throughout everything that I'm doing. So I had a very great support system. This is such a proud moment for me, but I feel like what I'm most proud of is the fact that I really have a downliner, Miss Lani, who has already ranked up in her first month of being in this business, and she also achieved an Achievers First bonus. So that is such a proud moment and something beautiful as an upliner to experience, right? But more than anything, it taught me the power of duplication. Whatever is working for you, teach it to your team so that they can also win alongside you, with you, because that is the whole point of 2 Point. Let us all grow, let us all win, and let us build crazy channels because there is no limit. They're not giving us a limit, right? I've only been here for about 3.4 months now, but I am proof that your circumstances do not determine your future. Your actions do, consistency does, and your faith does. So how did I do it? Consistently. It's very easy to say, but it's very difficult to put into action because there are certain routines that need to be put in place, right? You need to have self-discipline, self-control, and keep the momentum going regardless of what you're going through. Because like my mother always says, if you believe in something, you will definitely achieve greatness. Thank you. All right, guys, there we go. So the
And so, wow, how inspiring is a PUA? Amazing. And just a couple of months. And it just shows you how doable it is. So here we go. These are some of the bonuses that she was talking about. And I don't know about you, but any of these amounts would help me every single month that I earned them. And these are available for you through the Dew Point system month on month. So, which one would you like? And by the end of this week, you'll be able to put everything together to make sure that you can achieve one of these in August. How do you feel about that? Give me a flame in the chat if you're excited. And that's what we're going to achieve. So pick which one it is that you want. If it's the 25,000, let's do it. I'm here to support you every step of the way. And with that, family, we're in the home stretch. This is your time. I want your questions, real ones, anything. Put them in the chat right now. I've got a couple that I will start with just to take you through some of the more popular questions. Let's see what I've got here. So, Shani, I don't have money to start. What do I do? Okay, guys, the Dew Point opportunity is such a low premium, 349 Rand. Do what you need to do. I was in the same boat. When Nick wanted to start, we didn't have an extra 350 Rand lying around. I was so angry with him because he made the decision to do it and he went out, he joined and he paid. And I was angry with him and I gave him 30 days to bring in a result. But you know what? Nick went out, he found that money. It's only 349 Rand. It's less than a bucket of KFC. What other business in South Africa can you start for such a ridiculous low cost? And it's the only cost that you have. So everything else that I'm teaching you to do in this workshop, you will be able to do for free with the cheaper GPTs, with the cheaper softwares, the free softwares wherever you can, because that's how I built the business to begin with. I went from rank 0 to rank 4 with null cost on any of my marketing and null cost on anything else. I kept my costs as low as possible. But the only thing that we had to pay for was Dew Point, and it's been worth it. Is this only for people in South Africa? Yes. Dew Point only supports South Africans. Anybody living in South Africa that has a South African cell phone number, a South African bank account, and a South African proof of address. Those are the three criteria that they need, and they need to be over the age of 18. We don't work with minors in this business, only with over 18s. How do I get my spouse on board? That one you'll have to ask Nick. My spouse was always on board. The best way to get your spouse on board, think about it. If you went for a job interview, you're not necessarily going to ask your spouse for permission to take the job, are you? This is only 349, guys. Jump in, do it. Show your spouse it works. They'll jump on board. Qualify for the first holiday. Get a bonus check. Trust me, get paid. Your spouse will jump on board. And I'm scared, what if I fail? I think everybody feels that way when we start. And the only failure that you'll have is if you quit. Because as long as you stick it out, you'll be learning. And as long as you're learning, you will be growing. And I promise you, if you follow the framework and you follow the training that Dew Point has got for you to take you from 0 to success, that you will definitely earn with Dew Point. The people who don't earn and don't succeed are simply people that don't do anything. And can I do this while working a full-time job? Definitely, especially in the beginning. I would suggest until you go at least rank 3, keep your full-time job. Once you are at rank 3 and you start raking in those bonuses and you start growing your personal income, first replace your income and then fire your boss. Dew Point can more than support you financially, but don't put yourself under additional pressure, and 2 incomes are better than 1. So there's no need to do this full time, especially not initially. Okay, any other questions that you can see in? Alrighty, what if I'm not good at sales? You don't need to be good at sales. You're not going to go door to door. You're not going to sell any of DuPoint's products. Everything you need to do, we teach you from beginner to expert. Oh, and how old is Malachi? In case anybody wants to know, he's almost 1 year old. He'll be 1 year on the 1st of September. And that's it. So that concludes tonight's session. Well done at completing day 1. And now we're going to wrap up tonight, but I need to tell you something quickly before you go. Tomorrow night is going to be even bigger. Tonight we just set the foundation, but tomorrow I'm going to show you the exact money machine that Nick and I built. Not theory, the real thing, the one we use every single day. And in fact, you'll see with some of the homework that you've got from tonight, as you work through that, it'll ask you to bring some things with you for tomorrow's workshop. And as we start, we're going to take your business to the next level. So you can't get day 2 unless you were already here tonight. Nobody gets to jump the system. And I don't say that to be dramatic. I say it because tomorrow bolts on tonight. The awakening you just went through, that was the foundation. Tomorrow is where we start constructing your house. The house that your family will inherit. So 3 things I need from you before you close up. Just hit the thumbs up. Drop a comment. How are you feeling after tonight's session? Was it exciting? Are you overwhelmed? Where are you feeling? Just put in what you're feeling. And then that's it. Go away tonight, make yourself a nice cup of coffee, and go and complete your self-work assessment and bring it with you tomorrow. Let's catapult your business upwards and help you earn properly in August. Good night all, and God bless.